It's not the things inside my head that keep me going. Don't need someone to throw me money, they should show it. Keep chasing shadows, they're always haunting me, but I believe in something bigger, bigger than me. Bigger than me. Oh, bigger than me. Bigger than me.
What is going on, my fellow YouTubers? So today is Friday, it's arm day, I'm super pumped. I can't wait to film this session for you guys. So like I said in the last video, I'm not going to be doing too much lifestyle videos up until the end of the year just because I'm so flat out at work. But I'm going to try and film as many workouts as I can, and they're going to be as educational as possible. So I'm going to give you as many tips as I can think of in between every set that I do or every exercise, and hope you guys can enjoy it and take something from it and then apply it to your workouts. So as usual, I'm going to include the workout description and a few of the tips in the end of the video so that you guys can screenshot it, take it to the gym, and then apply it. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well. All right guys, you ready to get started? Let's do it. Alright, so that's the first circuit that we're doing today. Basically, we're starting with the bicep movement and then we're moving into 3 tricep exercises. So the first one, dumbbell curl with the bicep. Nothing crazy on this one. Basically just trying to keep it as strict as possible, shooting for that 10 to 12 rep range, making sure that when you bring it up to the top, you stop at the top and then you control it down nice and slow and then straight into the next one. You want to use a little bit of rhythm from your left to the right hand, and you don't want to be too stagnant. Now, when we're moving into our tricep push downs, you would have noticed that I was doing a little bit of a drawback on the tricep part, right? Basically what I'm doing is bringing my elbows backwards as far as possible as I draw the weight up. I'm bringing the bar from out in front of me towards my chest, and that's going to push my elbows backwards. As I do that, the tricep is now stretching over the shoulder joint as well as the elbow joint, and that's basically turning it into a compound movement. Compound movements just mean more than one joint. Now basically, if you do that and then you push straight down towards the floor, you're gonna get a lot more stimulation out of the movement and you're gonna get a much fuller looking tricep. Obviously you can't go as heavy, so you're gonna have to drop the weight back a little bit, but that's all right. You shoot for 15-20 reps, it will be burning. Now obviously we're not just gonna stop there. Because we're using a lighter weight, we still need to do more to stimulate the muscles. So after about 10 seconds rest, I just basically bent over and then I threw the weight down and did an overhead tricep extension. Now that's gonna burn and burn and burn, but you can't stop when it burns. You gotta keep going. The last 3 reps of that, once you hit about 15, is gonna absolutely kill, but you just gotta throw it down and push through it. After we do that, we're just finishing up with a no weight arm extension. So we're standing up nice and tall, arching the back, pushing the wrists right back behind the hips, and that's gonna just squeeze the long head of the tricep. So from here, right up into the back of the shoulder, it's gonna hurt, and it's not even gonna have any weight, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna pass the fuck out, but it's gonna be a really good way to just add as much blood into that muscle and finish it off altogether. So basically, do 15 reps of that, and just change up the angles that you hit with your arms. So I do some that where I go straight back like this, and then I do some that I go straight out to the sides, and then I do some where I actually turn my wrist over the top like that. And I do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then that way you hit your triceps in every single section and not just one. You don't want to be favoring like just the long head or just the short head. Anyway, we're moving into the next circuit now, so let's get into it.
Come on, dip, bum on your lips, pop that, come on your lips, and some on your tits, and get ready. This shit's about to get heavy. I just settled on my lawsuit. Fuck you, this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels
so I'm gonna run you through the last set that I just did. So basically we're starting with the dips. So this is a heavy compound movement for the triceps. Probably my favorite movement for building up mass to your triceps. Reason being is when you put your arm behind you like that, the tricep has to stretch over the shoulder joint, similar to how we're doing it with the push downs, but it's gonna do it in a much greater intensity because you're actually applying weight. Now, if you can't apply weight, extra weight, then don't worry about it. Just do a body weight. And if you need to take off weight, then put an elastic band around the handles of the dips, going down like that. Put your knees on that and use that and an assist. Now, in terms of the tips of that, just make sure that you stay upright when you're trying to hit your triceps. If you're trying to hit your chest, then you lean forward into it a little bit more. If you can increase the weight, then add a little bit on every set and just go for that like 10 rep range, 8 rep range, then 6 rep range. If you can just punch out like 6 on the last one, then you're gonna really get a good pump from that. So then we're moving into doing the barbell curls with an arm blaster. No biggie if you don't have an arm blaster, just do it regularly. Basically, we're just trying to keep it as strict as possible. That's why we're using that tool. All I'm focusing on doing is making sure that at the top of the movement, I'm breaking the momentum, I'm grabbing onto that tension, and then I'm controlling it back down. The whole point of this exercise is to not let the weight swing around. We want to do it with the strict form as possible. On the very last rep though, you got to make sure you hold on to that negative as long as possible. So bring your elbows up nice and high, rest them on your chest, and then bring it down as slowly as possible. And the last exercise that we did was just a hammer curl. So we're just basically squeezing and holding it, leaning forward into it a little bit. As you would have seen that I'm not actually using my hips to maneuver the weight. I'm just basically squeezing my forearm into my bicep and then extending back past my hips to get a full stretch. So for the third and last circuit of the workout, basically we're starting with the dumbbell overhead extension. So we're throwing the weight above our head and then controlling it down as much as possible. You want to make sure that you hold on to those eccentrics as long as you can. And towards the end of the set, if you need a cheat to get it up, that's fine, because muscles grow the most when they're in that fatigue state, and then you start focusing on the lengthening phase. Up phase is just as important, but you need to make sure that you also focus on the down phase. That's the number one thing that I always try to drill into you guys. So as a last exercise, I always try and focus on lengthening the muscle with as much time under tension. All right, so the next movement is a rope push down. Now this is gonna work the short head of the tricep. With the first part of the movement, I'm basically just elevating my elbows. I'm standing in nice and close to the rope, and then I'm pushing it straight down towards the floor and separating it once I get to the bottom. I'm keeping my elbows really still though, because I want to make sure that I isolate that short head, that part of the tricep that makes this horseshoe shape. After I've done about 10 reps like that, then I'm basically just pushing it straight down by my hips, and I'm squeezing and holding it, and then keeping my elbows super still as I raise the weight back up, and then bang, compress it back down. I'm eliminating as much swing as I can. All right, now for the last movement for the bicep, I'm basically just doing a one-arm preacher curl. Now this is one of my all-time favorite movements to finish on. Like I said just before, I'm gonna be focusing on the lengthening phase more so than the concentric phase. This is because once my biceps are fatigued, I wanna basically just hold on to that weight and lower it down as slow as possible. I'm actually also turning my hands slightly to the outside, and that's gonna hit the inside corner of my biceps, so right through here. If you turn out like that, just like 1 or 2 degrees, it will target this. If you turn them in and then lower it into the midline of your body, you're gonna hit the peak. So we do 2 sets of each. The first 2 sets are out to the sides, and then the last 2 sets are in towards the middle. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up the workout there, so make sure you hit that like button for me, and don't forget to screenshot the routine at the very end of this video. It's also in the description below. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out guys.